You are live. That is absolutely lovely. Right, let's see who we've got in then. How you doing, Kerno? Hope you're well, mate. Welcome in, Dan. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Oblivion, hope you're good, man. Angry Duck, hope you're well, mate. Lovely. Right, as you all know, and we've got Soph in as well. Welcome in, Soph. So as you know, it's the Wednesday podcast again. I've got another guest, some new questions on this evening. It's someone quite well known within the hobby, so I'm quite excited to have them on. I've been watching them for quite a while now. It was one of the earlier YouTubers that I started watching, getting into it. So yeah, I've not spoken to him before, other than briefly setting up sound problems 2 minutes ago for about a minute. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one. You all know the layout for the evening, so we'll start off. I'll get Steve to explain who he is and what he does. We've got our 30 questions set out in categories, and I've been pro this week. I've already linked Steve's description, is linked to his channel in the description. So if anyone isn't subbed, you can go and do that. And also we'll go through all the other stuff as well, because there'll be other links to other socials and stuff at the end as well. We do that. And then we'll have the section at the end where we can go through and anyone in chat can ask questions and stuff as well. So, right, let's bring the man in himself. Add to stage.
Evening all.
There we go. How are you doing, mate? Are you all good?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well.
Good.
Yes.
I'm sure we met at the Urbegeddon many years ago. I'm pretty sure.
No, I've never been.
No?
No, I only found out about Urbegeddon probably in the last 12 months, and that was when Mick Spanner invited me up.
Right.
But okay. I couldn't make it, unfortunately, because I had other stuff planned around the same time. But I'm hoping to get up to the next one. So yeah,
I've only done one. I've only done the original one, which was about 3 years ago. I think 2023. Yeah. I've not done the last two because I've been it's just clashed with plans and stuff.
Did you just do the pub and the meet-up thing, or did you go off exploring with people after?
No, it was more of an afternoon, evening thing, so that's all it was.
Yeah, because I've heard sometimes people meet up after or the next day. I know Mick says he stays overnight and then goes off exploring the next day with people. So
yeah, the one I did, it was quite a late one. So it was like a 1 a.m. finish.
Yeah.
So I think we were pretty tired the next day.
Yeah, I bet, mate. I bet. Right. Do you want to give a very brief description of who you are, what you do, and what your channel's called?
Yeah, so most of you might know, some of you probably don't. So I'm Steve from Exploring Within. I've been probably doing this about 5 years now. It was since probably lockdown in 2020 is when I first started. I sort of did fortnightly uploads for probably quite a long time, and then for probably two to 3 years I did weekly uploads, and now I'm sort of back to maybe once a month, something like that. So yeah, it's been a hell of a journey the last 5 years. Met some awesome people, done some awesome places. Just looking at the chat, I recognise some people in your chat.
Kerno, you probably know Kerno. Yeah, I've met up with Kerno before. We get on really well. So I'm hoping to do some more stuff with Kerno in the future. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, I've only done. Well, I did Plymouth and then crossed over to Cornwall briefly, but yeah, I've never really ventured that far down.
Yeah. Are you from Plymouth?
No, the other way, Portsmouth.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the other major city.
Yeah, right. I presume that's how you met up with the Vacant Haven guys originally, because they're Portsmouth way as well, aren't they?
Yeah, we're all in the same sort of area, so
Yeah.
not too far, which is handy.
Yeah. Actually, we've got them on in a couple of weeks' time as well, so I'm really excited for that one as well.
Cool, nice one.
Should be very good. Yeah. Right. So if we get started with the categories and questions, and we'll just work through them, mate, at your pace. It's your answers, so you answer how you want to, man. So
on the spot questions.
Yeah. Getting started in background is the first category.
Okay.
So question one is, what first got you into urban exploration?
I think I've always had an interest in derelict things. I remember this is years ago, before camera phones were even a thing, and even YouTube. I remember as a teenager, we used to go out exploring abandoned buildings and just seeing what's left behind. So it's always been an interest, and I think probably around lockdown, when we were going out for walks and stuff, I came across like a bunker. Got quite interested in it, and I know around lockdown it became quite a popular hobby. I think a lot of people were watching it. So yeah, I saw. I've always followed some urbexes on YouTube, so I guess I knew it was a thing. But yeah, I sort of decided to try it around lockdown time, and here we are.
Cool, man. Question two: do you remember your first abandoned place, and what was it like?
So the first one I did, and I don't think I filmed it, was this bunker I just referred to. So that was, I think that was a battle HQ. It's kind of like an outpost, so it wasn't anything major. But the first explore I filmed was, I think it was called a zero bunker. So it's like it's a last line of defense from German invaders. So it was like a telecoms bunker, and it had a massive, probably 50-foot pipe emergency exit, like proper solid concrete. So that was the first one I did.
Yeah. That's cool, man. It's not
years ago.
Not a bad one for a first one. I'm really enjoying the military stuff myself at the moment. It's very cool.
I have to say the bunkers are probably my favourite ones. That's kind of where I started. Obviously, they are quite similar to some degree.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah. Question number 3: what made you decide to start documenting your explorations on YouTube?
I guess it was just inspiration from others doing it at the time. I think that's the simple answer. So yeah, it was just a case of getting out there and filming it, editing it and uploading it. I looked back at some of my old stuff the other day, actually, and it's quite, I guess from then and now you can see quite a progression in the way it's kind of, I mean, you said you watch me, so you've probably seen sort of the gradual increase of quality, I guess.
I notice it with everyone, mate. Yeah, there's definitely like a level when people first get into it, and if they're serious about it and it's something they pursue, you can definitely see the quality of everything progress as they go through. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and everyone's got their own style.
Yeah, I've noticed it with my own stuff as well. Like you say, occasionally look back at some of the original stuff and I'm like, oh, what was I doing?
That's the thing. You constantly grow, don't you, as you do it, and
get inspiration from others as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Question 4: where does the name Exploring Within come from? Is there any story behind it?
I don't think there's any story behind it. I didn't want to go with the exploring with, because everyone's got that. So Within was kind of a short and simple name. And I guess really the name sort of means I'm exploring within the environment I'm in at the time.
Yeah.
So that's it really. Yeah, no major meaning behind it.
No, that's cool, man. Question 5. Did you expect Urbex to become such a big part of your life?
Probably not, actually. No, I think it's become what it is or is through the people that I've been out with and had the adventures and made the memories with. I think that's really amongst the exploring itself. That's the other side of it.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely made it bigger than what I thought it would be.
Yeah, I can definitely say there's people that I've met that I've explored with, and they're just explorers. But there's other people that I've explored with, and they've become really good friends, and they kind of become your staple people to go out with, don't they? You know that you feel comfortable with them, you can trust them, and
exactly, yeah. And I've been exploring with the guys for. I think we all started at the same time. So we've all got that level of trust and respect, and we got each other's backs if someone starts on us or whatever. It's good.
So we are on to the next category now, which is Urbex experiences. So question 6 is, what's the most interesting place you've ever explored?
It's a difficult one because I've done a lot.
You have done a lot.
Interesting. I think, it's always on the spot. You say something and then something else pops up. I think probably, I think the Solent Forts are probably right up there.
Yeah.
With interest and experience, because it's not just once you're there, it's getting there. It's the ordeal getting there as well on the boat and doing all the drone shots around it, all that sort of stuff. So I think that's probably one of the most interesting ones I've done.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to some of those myself. We've been eyeing up Breakwater Fort at Plymouth, and also the Breakwater Fort at Portland. And we took the boat with us on the Portland trip recently, but there was so much fog and so much swell. It just wasn't worth taking the risk. So we're going to wait for some better weather. But the
Plymouth one's definitely worth an explore. I don't know if you've seen our video on it, but it goes down quite a way.
I've watched all your videos on it, mate. Yeah, I'm one of those that if I've seen the video at a location, if it's another explorer that I enjoy watching, I'm happy to watch the video again from their point of view as well. Because it's the same with me and Captain and Mathers and that who I explore with. Although you're filming the same place together, the videos are always different because you always go off in separate rooms and different things happen, and you've got different people's reactions. So I'm always keen. If I enjoy the person, I'll watch multiple videos of the same place,
Yeah, exactly. Different angles and perception of it.
Yeah, definitely. Question 7. Have you ever found something inside an abandoned building that really surprised you?
Not that I can think of. I'm trying to think of person or objects or finds. No, I don't think so. Nothing springs to mind.
No. Obviously, you've come across like cannabis grows and stuff like that before, but I presume you've seen quite a few of those now. So that's sort of become a normal thing. You see so many videos of stuff like that now.
I think, thinking about it now, I think the only thing we have, it's not really a thing. It's more of a, I'd say, a paranormal thing that's happened. And some of you might have seen the video, some of you might not have. But I was exploring in an old abandoned house, and the chair moved on its own. That was probably the most spooky, sketchy thing I've seen. And I did capture it on camera, physically move on its own.
I think I remember that one, actually,
Yeah, it was all genuine reactions, and I'm glad I had my body cam recording as well, because that gave a slightly broader angle of it.
Yeah. See, I find the paranormal stuff interesting as well. And I always find it really cool if you see someone that does Urbex and they don't do paranormal stuff and they experience something on their Urbex, because you kind of believe it a bit more, because that's not their thing to do. Do you know what I mean?
Well, exactly. I mean, myself and the guys, we're not paranormal at all. We're not interested in doing that. However, we have on various occasions experienced stuff along the way and caught stuff on camera or felt something or saw something move. So it is always kind of cool and interesting when we see it happen. It gives you chills every time, but it kind of makes you a bit more open-minded on what's happening. We like to try and debunk it and come up with a logical reason as to why it's happened, but sometimes you just can't.
Yeah. Well, that kind of involves with question 8, which I've got here anyway, what's the creepiest moment you've ever had while exploring?
Yeah, it's got to be the chair move.
The chair move, yeah.
Yeah.
On to question 9. Have you ever had to leave a location quickly due to safety reasons?
I wouldn't say due to safety reasons. I've definitely had to leave abruptly if police or security are turning up as normal.
Yeah.
But in terms of safety reasons, probably not. The only thing that comes to mind is I did an old flour mill, and the wooden floor was so delicate. We had to sort of walk around the edges with the wall. In the middle of the floor, it had just completely caved in, and it was about a 20-foot drop down to the bottom. There's a massive sump underneath.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think we had to kind of get out of there fairly quickly. So that's probably the only sort of thing that comes to mind on that one.
Yeah. I've had a couple where I've gone in, but as quite quickly from being inside, the floors started going. And then you're like, no, I've got to get out of there. It's not worth it. I'll just film a walk around.
You got to weigh it up, haven't you? If it's not safe,
yeah.
you kind of just got to, give up.
On to question 10. What kind of locations do you enjoy exploring the most?
I think military stuff, bunkers, forts, tunnels, that sort of stuff. I think at heart, that's all the stuff I enjoy the most, and kind of what I started out doing.
Yeah.
I like the time capsules and stuff, but they do get quite repetitive sometimes if you do them a lot. It's mostly the same sort of stuff, give or take, but just in a different setting. I guess you could say the same about tunnels and bunkers. I guess really it's how often do you do it. If you kind of do it in moderation, then it doesn't oversaturate it too much.
Yeah. It is nice to have a bit of a change and do different things for sure. Yeah,
but I've certainly done a wide range of things, and I've got different playlist categories for each thing to kind of break down laws a bit.
I like the playlist idea. I want to start doing some playlists soon. Yeah,
definitely worth doing.
Yeah. On to the next category, which is content creation. Question number 11. How do you decide which locations are worth filming?
I guess really we find a place, we scout a place, and then we kind of film. I say we because I sort of work with the guys a lot, so we all kind of do the same thing. But we tend to film anyway, and if we get halfway round and we find it's no good, then we just can it off. Or sometimes in my case, I'll just upload it to my second channel as kind of a behind the scenes or mini explore, that sort of thing. So we kind of film it all, but we don't necessarily upload it. We might just can it halfway through, or if we turn up to the gate, we think, oh no, we won't sort of bother with that.
Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, Steve's second channel is Exploring Within Plus, which is where he puts all his like more shorts and that sort of stuff on there, and like the smaller explores and that kind of thing. But we'll cover all that at the end with what socials and stuff he uses, and all the links to all his socials will be added into the description after as well, so you can go and follow him on those as well. So we are on to question 12. What's your typical setup when you go out to explore and film?
Set up in terms of
what gear you take, filming gear, sort of torches,
gotcha.
or just general kit.
So I think gloves is a must. Gimbal, so I tend to use the Osmo 3. That's quite a solid all-rounder gimbal. And then I use an O-light, big, powerful sort of floodlight type light, which is really good. So yeah, really just gimbals, gloves, light, and that's it really. Obviously the phone to film on.
Yeah.
But there's nothing, there's not really too much to it, to be honest. Quite the lighter you go, the easier it is to crawl and climb and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool. Question 13. Do you plan your videos in advance, or do you just go with the flow?
I tend to just go with the flow. So I normally edit and upload as soon as I've kind of filmed it.
Yeah.
Give or take. Sometimes not literally, just to get it up there and ready. But there's no kind of structure really on what I release. It's kind of I kind of like to have a variety, I guess. So
yeah,
maybe bunker, time capsule, rather than doing it all in the same category.
Yeah, that's cool. Question 14. What's been your most popular video so far, and why do you think it done so well?
Most popular video. Do you know what? I don't even know what that is. I can have a look. It's probably one of the bunker ones.
Yeah.
So, I think it's the real sort of history-driven ones people tend to prefer, where there's a bit of a story or meaning behind it.
Yeah.
I think it's probably one of the bunker ones. And to be honest, you're at the mercy of the algorithm on YouTube.
Yeah, you are.
You can do all you want to promote it, but at the end of the day, you're sort of at the mercy of the algorithm, unless, of course, you buy views, which I don't recommend.
Nah, 100% not. No, and there's no rhyme nor reasoning to the algorithm either. It literally, you can never guess how it's going to go at all, can you?
No, you can get lucky or get unlucky or just flatline. It really does depend and fluctuate.
Yeah. Most of your videos do very well, though, mate. To be fair, but they are entertaining to watch.
Yeah, we try and keep them. It's always good with the banter with us guys when we go out, because, as I say, it's not just the explore, it's the chemistry and the banter that comes with it between us all, and that's what people like.
Yeah. Question 15. What's the hardest part about finding Urbex content?
Probably the scouting. So we all kind of use Google Maps and just pin places of interest, and then it's a case of turning up there and just doing a bit of recon. Sometimes you have to trek to get to it if it's in a field or through a field or whatever. So probably the finding bit. Yeah.
That's cool. So we are on to the next category now, which is safety and reality. So question 16. What are the biggest risks people don't realise about Urbex?
I would say probably air quality. So there's a lot of asbestos in these places. There's a lot of sort of sulfury gases in the air. You've got rotten wooden beams, that sort of stuff. So yeah, it looks easy on camera, but when you're doing it for real, as obviously you all know as well, it's a different ball game. You've got to, because of course off camera you don't see it all, what's really happening, where your footing is or where you got to go, and yeah, it can be very dangerous.
Yeah, I think the first one you said, to be fair, air quality is probably the most underrated, to be fair.
Definitely. And I've been guilty of that before.
Yeah, I am myself. Yeah,
we all have to start somewhere, and I guess we're quite naive at the beginning, aren't we? But it comes through experience, and that's the thing. It's remembering to carry a mask with you as well. So I guess back to your equipment or setup question, maybe a mask is another good one to carry with you.
Yeah, definitely. I always take a mask with me. There's always one in the bag, but it's quite hard to remember to put it on with the excitement and the adrenaline.
Exactly. Yeah.
Of going to a new place. You never know what's going to happen. Like you say, if there's going to be security, other people there, you don't know if there's going to be homeless people and literally anything could happen. So yeah, there's always a little bit of.
That's the thing, and if you're exploring with other people, sometimes you're trying to keep up with them, or you're talking to them, or you're talking on camera, and you do forget your mask.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's obviously taking it's one thing, but you've got to remember to put it on.
Yeah. Where are we? Have you ever had a genuinely dangerous situation while exploring?
A few times. Just trying to remember. It's always on the spot. It just vanishes from your head.
Yeah, no, that's fine, mate.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. There's been a few, I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some times where we've been doing stuff and we just think this is absolutely stupid.
Yeah, quite often for me.
Yeah, I think maybe one that springs to mind is one of the Dover videos we did, and it'll be in my Dover playlist somewhere. But we went down this hole, and it was just caped in asbestos.
Yeah,
I did have a, I think it's a PP3 or P3 mask on.
Yeah.
But I had to bin my clothes afterwards, bin my shoes, all that sort of stuff. I bought a spare pair, which is better than nothing. But in hindsight, it was pretty daft. And I think with the Isaac Newton Observatory, I did. If you remember that one a couple of years ago, that was a pretty asbestosy one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we are question 19. What advice would you give to someone thinking of trying Urbex for the first time?
I would say be cautious, careful, don't go on your own. Always go with someone, because you never know. Because if you trip, fall, we've heard stories of that before, people falling through floors and badly injuring themselves. So yeah, I'd just be cautious, always go with someone. And if you've got a body camera or even your phone, just keep it rolling in case you meet any security or any other sort of people that want to pick a fight with you. At least you've got it on camera then.
Yeah, 100%. And I can definitely vouch for that, because we were in that situation the weekend just gone. And yes, always keep the camera rolling for your safety and for theirs as well. If you're recording it, you can show what's happened. So yeah, definitely. Question 20. What's a common misconception people have about urban exploration?
Probably that it's so easy to do. To be honest, as I say, when you watch the video, it looks so, I guess, maybe professional on some of them, and perhaps I think people, and I get it a lot in my comments, why did you do this, or why didn't you do that, or why did you go at night? And it's more than that. And this is what it looks easy on camera, but when you're doing it, it's a different ball game. And obviously, like, we are normal people, we got lives and schedules, so we can't always go at a certain time of day, i.e. when it's daylight or whatever. So I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, definitely. So we're on to the next category, which is behind the scenes. What's something viewers don't see in your videos?
Probably most of the boring walking to and from the place. Or us joking around, especially when we have a certain someone with us that has a dirty mind and swears a lot and have to cut a lot out. It's mostly the boring bits, really. I tend to put snippets of our journey to it sometimes, if I can, or available to do so. But most people probably don't want to see the boring raw footage of walking up to a place. So it's probably those bits that I remove that people don't see. But again, it comes down to style. Some people might like to put in the raw footage, and that's fine. You kind of just do what works for you, and the audience you have will, if they like it, they'll watch you for it. And that's the good thing about every or different channels is there's something someone likes about them.
So and everyone's doing it differently. Yeah, although there is a very saturated market of people doing it, there is a lot of people doing it very differently, and you do it for however works for you. And like you say, if people enjoy it that way, then they'll watch you, won't they? So
exactly, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. You just do you, and as I say, if people enjoy you, then they'll watch you. That's all there is to it, really.
Yeah, and you've got to enjoy doing it as well, So for sure. Question 22. How long does it usually take to film and edit one of your videos?
So to film it, again, it depends where we are, what we're doing, how long it takes to get to it. Is there any drama? Like, do we get caught by security, or do we have to run, hide, all that sort of stuff? And then I guess editing also depends on how long the Explore was or how much I need to cut out. If I'm wearing my Bovlov, which is my body camera, if I've done drone footage, that's 2 extra additional camera rolls, if you like, I've got to download and incorporate into my editor. So there's that element. So there's sometimes 3 different video sources to go through and put on the editor. And then I guess for me, when editing, the most exciting bit is probably the intro bit, doing the music and finding the slides and doing all the timing that comes with it. So that can sometimes take a bit of time, but I'd say probably your average Explore to film is probably going to be anywhere from half hour to an hour, and then probably triple that for editing. Because not only when you edit, you got to watch it back, but you have to make cuts and then go back, re-watch it with the cut to see how it looks. So a rule of thumb, I tend to say it's probably 3 minutes worth of time for every minute you edit.
No, that's brilliant, mate. Question 23. Do you explore alone or with others most of the time? So here's a chance for you to name drop some of your exploring buddies now. I know a few of them.
So I've only done one solo explore on my channel, and that was probably 3 months ago or so. I dropped that one. But no, I don't really explore on my own. I only did that because I had to. But I always explore with someone. So I explore with Bex, which some of you probably know.
I know her from Instagram.
And then
And from your videos.
Yeah, Vakenhaven guys, and then Hidden Histories. So they're
Ray.
So they're the ones I tend to head out with. And as I said earlier, we kind of got that sort of chemistry and trust between us. So we kind of know what to expect from each other, which is why it works. So we were all out the other weekend, the three of us, doing a video for the first time in probably 3 or 4 years, just the three of us. So it's quite nice to have a bit of nostalgia.
No, that's cool. I have to say, I discovered you and Ray and Bex all through literally the two people that I originally watched that got me into it were obviously Matt Williams' Secret Vault and Vacant Haven, and that's how I discovered you and Ray and Bex. And I love all your content. I know Bex obviously doesn't do the YouTube thing, but I see all her photos and stuff all over Instagram, and the connection that you can see that all you guys have got together in the video, it works really well, and it's enjoyable to watch, man, for sure.
And I think you have that chemistry with each person you explore with, or different people you explore with. So it kind of makes the video a bit more varied as well on the channel.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Question 24. Have you ever had an encounter with security or authorities?
Quite a few times, yeah. Security, probably quite a bit over the 5 years. Authorities once. That was probably last year, actually. Some of you might have seen that on Vacant's video. But security can come in all sort of shapes and sizes. But some are nice to you, some aren't. I think really a lot of them, if you're exploring at night, they're probably going to be a bit more authoritative to you, because I guess they need to feel intimidating at first because they don't know who they're dealing with because they can't see you.
100%.
They might sort of go 100%, and then they'll come down to your level when they've kind of established who you are, what you're doing. And I guess that's like with any security in daytime. But some are really good, and I've been, when I did Denby Asylum years ago, actually, the security guard there, I think that was with Taffy, actually. In the chat, and he was quite a nice Scottish guy, and he walked us out, and we were talking to him about the history, and he wasn't a knob or anything like that. He was really decent. But one thing I remember, he had a couple of nails in his pocket in his jacket, his high-vis jacket, and he had a hammer. So I think that was, and he was just pretending to put boards back up. But I think really what that was is to probably have self-defense if you needed it. But he was good as gold. So some of them are really nice and understanding, and you get chatting to them and all that. But some are just knobs from the get-go, and you can't reason with them.
I've not had any bad encounters with police. They've all been really sound, and like you say, once you explain what you're doing and they realise you're not there to burn the place down or rob it, then they're all pretty good. I've only had one encounter, two encounters with angry sort of like neighbours or homeowners, but that was a similar thing. They started off really angry, sort of
neighbours are the worst.
Putting up like the dominant side of things, but then once you explain stuff, they calm down as well. So I've luckily never encountered any violence or anything like that myself. So
I think
never say never, though. I'm sure it will one day.
It'll come sometime, And I remember on my second channel, I put up a video with two farmers we were arguing with. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I haven't, no, not that I can remember, mate.
That was quite an entertaining one. He was, because I was the biggest, he wanted to pick a fight with me and all that, and yeah, it was funny. It was entertaining. It's a very entertaining video to watch.
Yeah. I'll definitely check that out, mate. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Where are we? Question 25. What's the most challenging location you've ever tried to access?
Challenging location. It's got to be. I've done probably like 400 explores. It's trying to think back to.
Yeah.
I think probably a good portion of them have all been quite challenging in their own right, whether that's trekking miles or trekking through a lot of foliage or, I don't know, hills and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think the only one that comes to mind, and I'm sure there's others, but we did a fort in Essex probably a couple of years ago, and we trekked about 2-3 miles just to get to it.
Yeah.
And that was climbing over pipes, over rivers, on the banks of the sea, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was quite challenging.
Yeah, I think my probably most challenging one was probably the Theatre Royal, the Palace Theatre in Plymouth. Just because I think we went there probably 10 to 12 times before we even managed to get in. And it was one that was big up on our list because of how beautiful it is, like the architecture and the history of the place and stuff. But even the time we managed to get in, there was ladders and drain pipes and not very nice. Yeah, very difficult.
Yeah, they're all tricky in their own right, some of them, aren't they?
Yeah.
And how you got to access it.
Yeah, definitely. So we're on to the final category now, which is deeper and personal. So question 26, what keeps you coming back to Urbex after all this time?
I think it's just probably the excitement and thrill, I guess. And also, again, it's the people you go out with and have the laughs with and make the memories with. That's, as I was saying earlier, that's probably, just as important than the Explorer itself.
Yeah.
I think it's that really. It's just going out and having a good time and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I mean, I've been out for days where we had, sort of multiple locations to go and check out, but you don't have an overly successful day because you've not been able to find a way in, or there's been people there, or for whatever reasons. But we still end up having a really good day anyway, because, like you say, you're out with your mates and you make the most of it, whatever happens,
Exactly, and we've had countless weekends, 2-3 weeks in a row, where we've been out miles from home and we've been out all day, and we've just had no luck because it's either locked or there's security there or there's neighbours there or whatever. And it does. And just for good measure, they're shitty rainy days as well, and it's not good for morale. So we've had a few disheartening days. It's not all good. It's good when it's good, but there's a lot of fails as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's even places on my list that I really wanted to do, but I wouldn't consider doing them while the weather's been bad, because it's either dangerous because it's wet and slippery or muddy, or do you know what I mean? Or something's flooded or whatever reasons. So, but look, definitely, like you say, like the summertime morale is much higher and it's a much more enjoyable experience when the sun's out and the sky's blue. And
exactly. Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Question 27. Do you feel a connection to the history of the places that you explore?
I wouldn't say a connection as such, but I just really find it fascinating, especially the World War II stuff, how it was kind of just left. Because they're literally, a lot of them are gutted, stripped, and then just left. One day they all disappear. And that's kind of how it's been left. I guess if you ignore the graffitiists and people who go and vandalise it or set fires inside these places, it's quite special seeing sort of how they've been left. And I guess the same with a lot of these time capsules as well, where they just get up and leave for whatever reason. And it's just really cool seeing how it's been left. I think there's more history associated with the underground and bunkers and perhaps the industrial stuff more than people's homes and that sort of stuff, because that's more of a personal circumstance, I guess. It's not as opposed to a history.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
So I guess that's why we don't really. Sometimes we read up on history of the place, more so Bex does, but to be honest, we can't really publicise all of that for obvious reasons. Where something in the public domain, like a bunker or a industrial building, is a bit different.
Yeah. Question 28. Has Urbex changed the way you see cities or everyday places?
I'd say a little bit, just purely because it's there and what used to happen in it. Because a lot of people just go about their day and they just think, oh, that's shut up or that's closed or whatever, but they don't really think about it in the way we do, I guess. So I guess in a way, if we ever go somewhere, we see somewhere and we kind of think, oh, that's cool, I wonder what that was like or what they did in there back in the day.
And you find as well, I do, that even if I'm not out urbexing, because that's what you enjoy, you're always on the lookout, even if you're not out urbexing. And even my family as well, like my missus or even the kids say, like, if we go past, they're like, Dad, there's an abandoned building over there, and you look over and there's an old barn in a field or something. Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah, like you say, you do go about your normal life and you don't switch off, because we've been out doing, social stuff rather than exploring. But on the road, we're always sort of turning our heads or looking like, oh, that looks good, pin that. And then we kind of say, what are we doing? We're not out exploring.
Yeah,
just the way it is.
Question 29. What's one place that you dream of exploring but haven't yet?
Probably two places. One place I won't mention, but the other probably the telephone exchange in Kingsway. I did have an opportunity to do it, but I'll be honest, I just couldn't be asked to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do it.
Right, yeah.
So I could have done it, but I chose not to. But yeah, that's probably a good one to do, because that's like the mother of all bunkers.
Yeah.
London, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. It is a big one.
Deep as well.
Onto the final question. Where do you see your channel and the Urbex journey going for you in the future?
I'm just taking it as it comes, really. I think just keep doing what I'm doing, and go from there. I'm not really one to sort of envision myself in a year or two, like I'm going to be here or up here or whatever. I'm just sort of taking it as it goes.
Yeah.
And as I say, it depends on, you're at the mercy of the algorithm. So if YouTube wants to be kind and promote me more and I grow, then maybe it's a different story. I don't know, but I think, I'm just sort of doing it chill as a hobby, really. It's not like a full-time thing for me, like some.
Yeah. I think, I think as long as you're enjoying the ride along the way, then it doesn't. Well, I suppose you always want your channel to do well, sort of. There's not many people that would go into it wanting it to flop, but obviously not everyone's looking to do it full time, or it depends what your life circumstances and stuff are, and
exactly
stuff like
just
that.
Just do what's right for you.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so we'll go into next. We'll go into what social media platforms and stuff that you've got. Obviously, the link to your YouTube channel is in the description now. It's a pinned comment at the top in chat. So if anyone isn't sub to Steve, I really do recommend it, because it is very good quality footage. It's very entertaining to watch, and some of the locations they go to are genuinely incredible. And also the other explorers that he explores with are all really lovely people, and also genuinely good to watch. So yeah, would definitely recommend that. So you've got your main channel, and you've got your Exploring with Him Plus.
Yeah, just EW Plus it is.
Yeah.
And then so I'll just find a link for that. Got it. I think I'm on your.
Yeah, that will be linked in the description below. After I'll add all his social links in the description after. But you're on Insta, or you can post them on.
Yeah, and I was going to say I'll post the video of that angry farmer in the chat if it's come through as a link, which is for the other channel.
Oh yeah, cool. So yeah, you can click on that. I'm gonna watch that after this, because I'm intrigued to see.
It's very entertaining. It's very entertaining. It's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah. We had our first sort of mega angry situation this weekend, and I've been editing through the footage this week, and it's quite entertaining. But it's knowing what to add in and what not to add in. It was a very big encounter. Obviously we were, perfectly, respectful the whole time from beginning to end. But they were obviously very, very angry in the beginning. And there was a very angry dog and a very big angry man.
We've had that before. Yeah. I think the more you get it, the more not comfortable you get with it, but you get used to it, so you know what to expect.
Yeah, I was fine with it. I wasn't expecting it to go anywhere, because there was 3 of us there, all with cameras recording. So it's, I wasn't expecting anything to happen, which is kind of nice, knowing that you have got it covered if anything does happen as well,
That's the thing. As long as you have your body camera on, just say to them, like, look, I'm recording for your my safety and yours. And then if they know you're recording, I think if it's on a body camera, it looks a bit more sort of not professional, but less intimidating, I guess, to security. Where if you're filming on a phone, they instantly think, oh, that's going to go on TikTok or wherever. Where if you're filming on a body camera, it's a bit more formal. So they're probably more likely to maybe back off a tad.
That's do you know what? That's a really good idea, and I think that's after our encounter the weekend, because one of the people in question, well, I won't mention, but the lady that was there, one of the things she kept pointing out is we were still recording, and she didn't like the fact that we had our arms held up recording what was going on.
Yeah,
and I think it maybe would have deflated the situation slightly if, like you said, you had like just something clipped onto your chest, and then they might not even notice it even.
Exactly. Yeah, body camera is definitely a bit more formal, so it's less likely to antagonise them further.
Yeah. What other social medias are you using? You've got an Instagram page, is that right?
Yeah, just Instagram.
Just Instagram.
I don't use the Facebook element anymore. It's just the Instagram page. So I'm not on TikTok or Twitter or X. It's called now. Yeah, just literally Instagram page and the 2 channels is where you'll find me.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, like
I do
said,
have
guys,
I do have another upload coming on the 2nd channel
yeah,
at some point, because it's been a few months since I put one up.
yeah. Oh, that's cool. Was that the one that you were saying you were out filming the other weekend with with the gang? Yeah,
one of them. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, be looking forward to that. Yeah, obviously all the links to Steve's socials, both YouTube channels and the Instagram, will all be linked in the description below if you're watching this after it's gone live. So we'll go into question time next, mate, for everyone in chat. There are a few people that I noticed came in that I didn't get a chance to say hello to, and I do apologise. But let me see if I can see some of them. So we've got a mixed banner.
I haven't been
Mick.
watching the chat, so apologies if I've missed anyone.
There was a Mathers and Shazers, Abandoned Cornwall, Taffy, Urbex with Taffy, Susan, High Country Homestead from Australia. She's lovely, she is. Yeah, so thank you everyone for coming in. If you've got any questions, it is your chance to put them in the chat now, and we can ask those away. So we can have a few minutes on that. So we've got one from Oblivion. Who's the ultimate explorer that you'd like to explore with, or whom you'd watch the most or inspired by?
I don't think there is one, to be honest. I know there's a lot of big names out there and all that sort of stuff, but to be honest, they don't do much for me. I don't. There's not really an ultimate explorer as such. For me, I guess the guys I do kind of admire and what they do is the Proper People. I don't know if you've heard of them. The 2 guys in the States. They're very good and respectful. I quite like them, and I've watched them for years. And they're very they've got that good reputation. They're very straight and true, where you've got other YouTubers that see it more as a hierarchy in a business. And then it all just goes off the charts. So, yeah, I don't really have any sort of ultimate explorers I want to, meet or explore with or anything like that. I'm just happy, going out, having a good time and documenting it for me.
Yeah. Welcome in, Pompey. Hope you're well.
Yo, Edster. How you doing, mate?
Eddie is in chat. We've got a question from Captain Cornish. If you could do any mission, what would it be?
Mission. I guess, I don't know what you define as mission, but I quite
just
like
any explore, really.
Yeah, I quite mission-wise, I quite like a good challenge. So maybe climbing, crawling through spaces, that sort of stuff, or going underground. It's nice when it's a challenge. I do like it, obviously, but when you just open a door and walk in, it's a bit anticlimax, isn't it? Where if you've kind of worked for it, and you've done a lot of grind to get in, it's always a good feeling and it's worth the reward, sort of thing. I've done a few bunkers like that where I've had to proper crawl in spaces and we've got stuck and we've had to help each other out. So I like those missions. They're good challenges. And again, it's all part of the journey we have together on it. Which,
definitely.
Makes it is what it is.
Yeah. We've got a question from Exploring with Mathers and Shaz. Have you filmed any of the military stuff around Plymouth? And if so, what was your favourite?
The only bits I've done around Plymouth is the Breakwater Fort. I've done Scrayston Fort. I think that's pronounced correctly.
I've seen your Scrayston video.
I've done the oil pipeline tunnel in Plymouth as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sort of familiar with Plymouth, so I don't know the military areas as such, but they're the only bits I've done in Plymouth.
Yeah. There's a lot down here, to be fair. So if you ever are back down this way, we'd definitely be happy to give you a tour of some of it. Some of it I've not even done myself yet, in all fairness, but yeah, there is an awful lot there.
Yeah, it's definitely a good place. We've been a couple of times. We've got a mate, Mark. It's down there. So
Mark Urbex.
Mark Urbex, sound guys.
Yeah, I've spoke to Mark a few times through message and stuff, and he's a paid member on my channel as well. He's a lovely guy, very nice bloke.
Yeah, he's brilliant, Mark. We've been exploring with him for years, and he's been a good supporter of ours. So yeah, he's good as gold.
Yeah, very nice guy.
Keep meaning to get down there, but it's just finding the time when we're all free to get down there. But we met him halfway. We did a day. We met Mark and did a day last year in what's it called? Portland. We did a few of those bunkers and the Forbidden City. Yeah, where the military police turned up, but we weren't allowed to film that. Yeah, but we weren't allowed to film that and put that on the channel. So that was off camera. So all that went on for about 45 minutes.
No way. So we went to Portland recently, and it was on the list to do, but we didn't manage to get there and find it in time with the time we had. So we were going to go do another trip back, and that was on the list of things to go and look at, but
just be mindful. They will see you because there's big cameras on poles.
Yes.
And we can obviously, safe and experience, they do work and they are watching in real time.
Right, yeah. I suppose with so much security, with having the prison and stuff on the island as well, there's going to be a lot of cameras and eyes everywhere on that island.
I think all they want to know is what our intentions are, what we're doing. We're obviously exploring, but then they wanted to search us for bolt cutters, and because there's obviously holes in the fence, and they were like, well, how did you get in? So obviously they searched us all, and we were empty-handed, obviously, but they just wanted to know, if we weren't equipped, sort of thing, which obviously we weren't. But yeah, they're just doing their job at the end of the day. They don't know who we are, what our intentions are, and 9 times out of 10, if we're good to them, they'll be good back to us, and vice versa.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a question from my mate Wayne, Angry Duck Automotive. What's the ultimate explore abroad for you? Is there anywhere abroad you'd like to do?
I think what I've done so far, I've done a lot of the Atlantic wall bunkers in France and Belgium.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it technically is abroad, but France isn't exactly an amazing location in itself, but being only sort of 30 miles over the channel. But yeah, we did on the beach, we did like a 4-story underground bunker.
Yeah.
On the beach, and that was really epic. That was. I hope to go back and do that properly, because that was one we did back in the day when we first started. Yeah. But I think if I went back there, I'd be taking gas detectors and all that sort of stuff. Which leads me on to another thing, actually. I think RKS did it recently. Probably want to go and do that one. I won't name it, but if you know, you know. But there's miles of underground tunnels there, and a massive like corkscrew spiral staircase going underground.
Yeah.
So that's definitely like to do that.
Very cool.
But I know some people proper go abroad, don't they, and do these road trips and all that. Whether that's Japan
France and Italy or Japan or
That's it. Yeah. I'm sure there's some amazing stuff to see, though.
Yeah, I mean, all the big abroad places like that would be fantastic. But I've seen so many videos on it all. It's sort of it's a very out there, sort of thing, and there's lots of videos on it.
I think as well, watching other people's videos of stuff before you've been, you do kind of build up a bit of a map in your head on
you do.
where you got to go or what to expect. So I guess back to one of your early questions, actually, on if you're thinking of starting out and doing it, it's maybe watch other people's explores of it to get acquainted on what the layout is and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And to be fair, when I first got into it, I didn't know anyone else in the hobby that was doing it. I was just watching other people's YouTube videos, and then obviously I started watching a few of the bigger people's channels first. But then it was kind of my first original way of getting locations. Really, I was seeing what other local explorers were doing as well to get my first few locations in. And that's when you start delving into it a bit more seriously, and then you start getting on Google Maps and stuff like that as well. So, but yeah,
that's primarily really the way you find these places is Google Maps.
Yeah,
that's the most easiest way, because a lot of people ask, how do you find these places? And it is literally just scouting. I mean, of course, you get given places and all that sort of stuff, but it's always satisfying when you find your own place.
Yeah.
Good feeling to it.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a question from Oblivion. Have you had any bad injuries while exploring?
The worst I've had is probably I slipped my wrist when I was climbing over a metal fence. So I kind of got caught on the way down and slipped my wrist. So I had to go straight to not A&E, as you'd probably expect me to say. I had to go to Tesco and get sort of massive bandage and antiseptic wipes and all that sort of stuff. Supermarket was closer, and plus A&E, it's a bit of a faff. I mean, it wasn't critical. It wasn't like a major injury, but it was bad enough. So, I had to sort of have this sling-type bandage on, fitted, which kind of did the job. But it just kind of meant I was walking around the supermarket with blood pouring through the tissue while I was trying to get the bandage and first aid stuff. So I think really, first aid kit is probably another thing to add to your arsenal when you're out exploring, whether that's in your car or your rucksack. Probably a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. We were winging it for quite a while and didn't have one. But luckily, Captain Cornish, who I explore with, has recently picked up a full first aid kit, which comes out every time with us now. And like you say, even if it's in the car, generally you're not too far away from the car.
No, exactly. It's worth having. I mean, hopefully you never have to use it, but it's nice to know you've got one.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. When you start, you always get better and more wise as you do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, looking back at myself 5 years ago, you think, bloody hell. But, it comes with age in the hobby.
Yeah, definitely. Like. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think we've come to the end of the questions there, mate. So I want to say a massive thank you for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been cool to speak to you in person. Obviously, watched your videos in the past. But yeah, it's always nice to have a chat with people that you sort of look up to, and a chance to interview you and find out your story and sort of your side of things and what you think about it all. So I've really enjoyed it, mate. Massive thank you to Steve. Obviously, I'll say again, is linked to his YouTube channel is pinned at the top in the comments now. So if you could go and drop him a sub, and if you're watching after, down in the description underneath will be a link to all his channels, both channels, and his Instagram page as well. So yeah, we've got another guest lineup for next week, which I'll advertise in the next couple of days. But it's going to be a bit different next week. I've had to change it to a Monday because the person that's coming on works every other night of the week. So there's a bit of a swap round next week. I'm going to do a Monday one instead of a Wednesday one. But that'll all be exactly the same layout as this, just a different day. But I'll let everyone know that on the channel anyway, so they all know what's going on. So yeah, massive thank you to Steve. Massive thank you to everyone that's come in to chat this evening and ask questions. I hope you've enjoyed it. I have. It's been cool finding out a bit more about Steve and his channel. And yeah, thanks to everyone that's watching after as well. The support really does mean a lot. And it's, I think, you know, something different and good in the hobby is always a good thing. You know, there's lots of negatives in the hobby. You always see stories in the paper and buildings getting burnt down and vandals and, you know, lots of other things. So I think, you know, putting something good out there in the hobby is, you know, it's only going to benefit, I presume. So,
yeah.
But yeah, right. I want to thank you all again, and I'm going to end the stream there. And I will catch you next on Saturday for my premiere and live stream. If you stay in the chat, Steve, I'll have a quick chat with you after. And yeah, take care, everyone. Much love.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See
Cheers.
you later.